Hello and welcome to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for Wednesday, November 27th. We have a giant slate on tap tonight. We have 14 games on FanDuel, 11 games on Draftkings. As always, we will try and go through it all. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, at FlatTyler83 on your DFS sites and on Twitter. Now, let's dive in. Before we do, want to bring to your attention that we do have a 7-day free trial through the app stores. If you've never tried us out before, download LineStar app and sign up for 7 days free. If you've never tried us, give us a try. It gives you access to all the props, all the DFS on the website and on the app. So let's dive in. Starting with point guard. We have a huge slate, and our highest owned point guard is Kyrie Irving, 24% owned. He's 9,100. His salary has stayed static while he really hasn't done a ton without Doncic, but we do know that ceiling is there. Understand why people are going there. I'm fine getting some. I'm just not going to go super heavy on this slate. On this slate, I am going to try to build lineups a little bit contrarian. The thing is that with NBA DFS, so many people focus on where the projections are really giving us, the best lineups. And with 14 games, I just think there's so many different ways to go that I'm trying to really build a little bit contrarian today as it's just a lot of games. All right, next we got Jaden Ivey, 20% owned, 7,100. We know he's got a nice little ceiling without Cunningham, so you got to at least be a little bit into some Jaden Ivey today. He's in a good spot without Cunningham. Just usage goes up, a ton, and I gotta be there for it. Only issue, point guard. Memphis is first point guard, so it's a tough matchup, but I'm fine getting a little bit. Malik Monk is back for the Kings. He played 26 minutes, and his price is down to 5,100. I think he is definitely a spot where you can consider playing him. His minutes generally go up a little bit in tightly contested contests, so if that happens, you could see, 28, 30 minutes, and at 5,100, he is a steal. The one thing I do have to say is he came back from injury and did get banged up again on, Monday night. So we do need to watch, if he's going to play, or be a little bit concerned if he's going to get extra minutes just due to that getting hurt again. Darius Garland, 6,800. Fine going there if you want. He's in an okay spot. Keon Ellis, 4,100. We have him for a 23-point projection. He started last game. He could slide back out of the starting lineup. So not totally sure what to take here. If he is starting, if he gets 28 minutes, I understand why you'd want to go there. There's definitely a decent median projection there, and a chance to get 6x. My issue is playing with these starters. His usage is just so much lower that I don't think there's a ceiling there. There's a couple value spots like this today where I think I'm going to just try and get away from a little bit and do more of a balanced type build, just because it's not like the value that is a little chalky today is super good. It's not like I'm expecting 10x's from them. It's like I'm expecting 6x, and if I get anything on top, that's just money in the bank. But it's not, when it's like that, I don't really love going with all that chalk, and that's kind of the situation with Keon Ellis. Even though he's not super chalky, I may try and avoid a little bit. All right, now get into some pivots. Scottie Pippen, 5,800. Ja Morant is going to be out, I believe, and with that, Pippen likely slides back into the starting role. Now, his minutes are a little questionable. He played, 26 minutes in like 3 games straight, then popped up to 31. Last night only had, or 2 nights ago only had 14. if he is up to, 27, 28 minutes, he's a slam dunk in this spot. If he gets up above that, if he gets to that 30, he's a home run where he could totally go for 30 again. 40 plus, and at 5,800, that's very interesting. So I'm definitely interested in some Scotty. Now we get some eye rolls with Anthony Simons. I got to go back to it. His price is down to 5,700. He's not shooting well. So there's, that's the big issue here. But he's getting around or close to 30 points game in and game out, and he's 5,700. If he shoots well, there is that 40, 50-point ceiling. So I'm fully willing on taking some chances for Simon. I am all about trying to get some ceiling on this slate. There's just so many games. You're going to probably have a pretty big score to win tonight. Next, LaMelo Ball. I mean, you guys knew this one was coming. 57, 70, and 64 his last 3 games. The minutes are huge. Him and Miller are everything on this team right now. And I got to go back to that. It's a tough spot versus the Heat, but, give me a solid potential for 60. It's 10.4, and I'm fine taking it. I don't love the matchup, but it is one of the spots I'm going to sprinkle in some and get some different out of them. So fine going there. On DraftKings, our highest owned point guard, Delano Banton, 26% owned, 4,500. His minutes are keep creeping up. He's at 24. Played 21 the game before that. Over the last week or two, we've seen a couple games of 24-ish. He does have huge upside if he gets the minutes. So I like it from that standpoint. However, it's a total roll of the dice if he gets the minutes. I'm fine having some of him. I just don't think he should be chalky because it is a very high variance spot to see if he gets more minutes or not. James Harden, 9K. Absolutely fine to go some Harden against the Wizards. I mean, it is literally his team. The one thing I do want to mention is Norman Powell was at shoot-around this morning. So if he plays, it hurts Harden a little bit. But regardless, I like him. He's 9K and get you 50, 60. So sign me up there. Don't mind some Harden. FVV, Fred VanVleet, 7,100. Absolutely fine versus some 76ers with him. He just had a huge game. He is a very streaky player. When he's hot, and he generally does it for a week or two. It's been a week or two now. I'm fine staying on that bandwagon versus the 76ers. Only issue is the very low total here, but FEV can fire it away. Now, getting over to shooting guard on FanDuel, we got Kyrie Irving, we got Jaden Ivey, we got Malik Monk, talked about them all. Quentin Jackson is fine. Keon Ellis, whatever. Let's get to the pivot action. Brandon Miller, 7,800. He's in this, a very similar spot as LaMelo. Now, his price hasn't gone up quite as dramatically. It's up 1K from his 48-point performance, and I'm fine to go here in this spot. The chance of, mid-40s is pretty decent, and his usage is super high, just like LaMelo. Another thing that should be talked about is LaMelo is, I think, questionable today, so if he's out, Brandon Miller becomes everything. Desmond Bane, 6,800. There's no jaw, so the usage goes back up. Should play solid minutes versus Detroit, who are 28th versus shooting guard. Like me some Bane. And Mathurin, 6,500. Big-time upside in this starting lineup, and he's there once again. So interested in some Benedict Mathurin as well. Shooting guard, Miller, Banton, Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway still cannot hit the broadside of a building. He can't hit water falling out of a boat. My fade of him last game worked, and I'm going to be fading him again. The one thing I do have to say is that I am a little interested in him just because I know the ceiling is there. He is unlike Ellis or Bryce Sensabaugh, who I think have very good chances at 6x. Hardaway doesn't have a good chance at 6x, but he has a chance at 10x just because of how he plays. The other thing is Tobias Harris might be out. If Tobias is out, I mean, I would be shocked if Hardaway isn't shooting a ton, but it's definitely a scary click. He's been literally awful. 0.35 fantasy point per minute over the last 5 games. Just terrible. Terrible, as Mr. Barkley would say. All right, small forward on FanDuel. We got Royce O'Neal, 18%. Saloon, 18%. Sensabaugh, 17%. And this is some of that chalk that I was talking about. Look, Saloon played 30 minutes, gave you 9 the other night. Like, this is not great chalk. He's going to give you minutes, but he's in a tough spot versus the Heat. He really hasn't done much. He has one usable fantasy game, and that's a game that he played 15 minutes. He just got hot. He had 11 points and 8 rebounds with 2 blocks in 15 minutes. Generally, when he has got some run, it hasn't been very good. Can that turn around? Yes, but I struggle with really seeing a ceiling here. Now, if the Hornets have extra guys out and we know he's playing 34 minutes and it's likely a blowout and he's going to keep playing those minutes, then yeah, maybe I'll get some. But I am really going to try and stay away from the value that doesn't have much of a ceiling, and I think he's there. Bryce Sensabaugh, we have him at 26 minutes with injuries on the team. He probably gets the extra run. He played 27 last game. We've seen him play 22 recently. But this is a spot where I don't expect him to start. If he does, I will be interested in him. But coming off the bench with variable minutes, being a little bit chalky, it's another thing where I just don't really see a ceiling. I mean, he got the minutes everybody wanted last game, was chalky, and didn't do it for you. It's another spot where I just really struggle to wanting to go there without, some sort of ceiling. Franz Wagner, 9,700. His price is just too high for me to really want to go there. I mean, the chances of him hitting over 50, where it's 60 plus, I think is slim. Even though he's done it twice in the last week, I just don't think he continually can do that. And 97's up there, man. Like, we need 70s, a legit 70 ability, and I just don't think that's a legit thing for him. I mean, he had to score 37 with 11 assists to get there last time. And like, how many games, and have 4 steals, how many games is he going to have double-digit assists and 4 steals? Very, very few. I just don't think that, that's a realistic ceiling for him. I think 60 is his ceiling, which at 9,700 would be okay, but his most likely outcome is high 40s, low 50s. And 5,700, I could probably get more ceiling elsewhere. Pivot land. We have talked about them all. So small forward on DraftKings, Brandon Miller, Saloon, Brooks, Hardaway. Brooks, 4,200. He's playing minutes, and he got 40 a couple nights ago, 30 just last night. So, I mean, I would rather play him than some of the chalk that's out there. Like, yes, he's consistently low 20s, but then has that ceiling of 40s. And, I'm fine to play that over a Sensabaugh or somebody who I don't know if they're really going to get that kind of minutes, or Saloon for that matter. Let's move it on over to power forward on FanDuel. Royce O'Neal, Saloon, Wagner, talked about them all. Pascal Siakam, still a bit chalky, 14%, but I'm fine to go here versus the Trailblazers, who just aren't a good team as a whole. I get it if you don't want to. He hasn't shown much of a ceiling lately, but he has, 1, 2, 3, 4 games this season of like 15 that he's hit 48 or 47 plus. His ability to do that in that many games makes me have to consider him at a little bit lower owned. Anthony Davis, 11.1K. Dude's a walking 60 burger this year. Versus good old Wemby, I'm fine going there. And what has he done versus the Spurs the last couple of years? 2 60 burgers and a 46. If he's going to give me a legit chance at 60 plus, I'm fine with paying the 11.1. John Collins, 7,500. 3 games in a row of 40 plus. He has a 50 plus point ceiling. He's been getting big time minutes. As long as that stays, he produces. I don't mind Walker Kessler also. The one thing I would say is I wouldn't play both of them because both of them need to hit the boards to really be able to produce. And I don't think both of them can hit 13 plus boards together. Power forward on DraftKings, Jabari Smith, 4,700 is getting cheap for this man versus the 76ers. His minutes have gone up again, 37 and 38 the last 2 games. When he gets minutes, he does well. For the season, he's been around 30 a ton. So you're getting a guy with a good chance of 6x with a ceiling of, over 10x. So I'm fine taking some shots on him while he's chalky. Diabiti, I struggled to go here. Same thing that I talked about the other day is he just can't score the basketball. And while he's good at getting boards, good at getting blocks or steals, without scoring, he has no ceiling to me. Can he get it done at some point this season? Absolutely. But I just don't think it's going to be versus Bam. So I'm kind of out on that one. And let's get over to center on FanDuel. Jokic, 12.3K, 19% owned. Absolutely fine taking some Jokic. He is a total beast. My only worry is that I could see this being a game where Denver kind of blows out the Jazz and he just doesn't have to play as much. He only played 30 minutes last time they played him and they won by 26. And kind of the same thing all of last year. He's around a 60 burger. I think you can get that in Anthony Davis for, $1,200 less. So while the ceiling definitely shows it goes to Jokic, I just don't think it's as likely as we could see from AD. So I'd rather pay down to go to AD. Miles Turner, 6,600, 12% owned. Fine going to some Miles Turner. He had a giant game versus them last year. Always around mid-30s, but has that 40, 50-point ceiling. So fine taking a couple shots there. Ben Simmons, 5,200. I do worry about his ceiling. We haven't really seen over mid-30s, which mid-30 would be fine for him at his price. But I think it's just as likely he gets like 20, plays 25 minutes, 24 minutes, and doesn't get it done. So I don't love Simmons. Watford is interesting, but really don't know what his minutes are going to be. I would have expected him to play big minutes. In fact, I did expect him to play big minutes against Golden State, and he ended up only getting 18. If he gets 24 plus, he could absolutely smash, but it's a real roll of the dice and very surprised seeing him come in a little higher owned right now. Only other pivot we got to talk about, Isaiah Hartenstein. He has a 43 and a 34 so far this season in his 2 games with Thunder. He played 32 minutes last game. Got to expect he's right around 32, 34 here. He could crush the Warriors. They're just not that strong inside, and he has a big ceiling. I'm absolutely fine with going to some Hartenstein. Center on DraftKings, Jabari Smith, Miles Turner, and Zubac. All of them are fine. I mean, Zubac versus the Wizards is a smash. The only thing is his minutes have come down a little bit lately. He's not getting those 35. He's getting like 30, or 31, 32. And for that reason, at his price, I'm a little worried about him, but don't mind having a little bit of Zubac sprinkled in. And at 10.8K versus the Lakers, you kind of got to consider some Wemby here. So I don't mind a little bit of Wemby as well. That ceiling is just huge. And, he can definitely get it. AD 10.5K is also interesting. Just chance of 60 is, pretty high there. So that'll do it for us today, guys. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And I will be back next week with more NBA DFS content. Will not have one Friday, but that day I will probably have the NFL DFS show come out. If not Friday, it'll be Saturday. It's whatever day I don't go snowboarding with my daughter. One of those it'll be coming out. Don't totally know which day that is yet, but it'll be out. Hope you guys have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Enjoy it with your family. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.